Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is White Lightning. Welcome back to Principles of Empire. We're playing as the New Republic about to assault the Imperial planet of Druckenwell. Biggest reason I'm wanting to do this right now is join up our territory where we can connect Bothawui and Cothless with the rest of the New Republic territory here. Probably leave Glomtho for now, but want to move in on Druckenwell, remove these Imperial forces here, and yeah, have that contiguousness so that we can be a little more effective in maneuvering our forces around. So go ahead and unpause and send in Luke right off the bat. Going to be a little dangerous for Luke because they do have a fair number of vehicles that are anti-infantry. ATSTs, these light vehicle factories, are going to be pumping out some more ATSTs. They've got the ATPTs that are very good anti-infantry. So we'll have to be really careful with Luke not to run him into a bunch of those on accident. But on the other hand, we also have a lot of big, heavy weapons like our floating turbo laser, for instance, that will be really effective in dealing with those lighter vehicles. So, taking a look, this is one of those planets with a victory point. Not that I see much point to having the victory point because the base is right here. So like we could sit here for 90 seconds while they spawn units and come out and try to get us off the victory point, or we could walk right in the base. So I'm kind of feeling looks like capturable, turbo laser tower down here, looks like an infantry only path here and another couple here. So getting Luke up in this direction probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, so just so he can screen some of that infantry.
Let me help you.
I'm feeling of sending, like I want to send him there. I'm going to bring in some New Republic Army troopers, and then I'm actually going to bring in Rogue Squadron, and we're going to scout around and see if we can find the power generator for their defensive turbo lasers and the energy shield around their base, because destroying those is going to make our assault a lot easier. Luke, let's get you to sprint down to where I told you to go to, and then we'll send these infantry all walking in all the way down to here to this direction actually. You guys can go in that direction, and then I'll just send these individual squads for these individual objectives that are here in the southwest corner of the map. And then Luke, like I say, is going to chill here and apparently get lit up by a bunch of ATPTs. I forgot that ATPTs and speeder bikes can use the infantry-only paths. Ew, grimace. This is why we have T-47s. This is why we have Rogue Squadron. Okay, Luke, you can go up here. This is just, I think, yeah, the chariots just have anti-vehicle blasters, so that's not going to be as effective against Luke, and then Rogue Squadron should be able to take down these ATPTs relatively easily. Okay, they have more coming in, so let's pull on back. Boy, there's a lot going on here. We have captured this command post though, so we can bring Luke some help. Let's get the turbo laser blimp in, and then let's get our artillery in as well. This infantry, you guys can come across and camp on the bridge. Honestly, let's pull Luke back and let's just keep these bridges secure. In fact, this infantry, let's send them down here to just keep vision on this bridge that the enemies could potentially cross. And it's looking like they're sending a large column of something. Is that vehicles? Yeah, it's probably a large column of vehicles down towards this command post. This is a great place, I feel like, for our heavy tanks to come in, right? Surprise! Call an ambulance, but not for me. And then we're about to capture this VAT gunship, which is a great capturable to get. And this looks like an abandoned droid factory that's going to give us some old battle droids as well. So those capturables are going to be quite strong for us. Rogue Squadron, get out of there. You are hurting. You're almost losing some speeders. Yep, we lost them. But we did find the power generator for the base. It is up there. It would end up being past the turbo laser tower here, so that might be a little bit challenging to get to, especially with speeders or something. We might just have to fight this the old-fashioned way. With that in mind too, I'm thinking let's get our infantry down here, and let's capture this pad and turn it into a repair facility for our heavy tanks that are about to come into contact with some enemy forces, and then for Rogue Squadron to get repaired at as well. And let's put this infantry up here towards the front line. Take this gunship and put them over here as well. And this infantry can attack there as well. Luke, meanwhile, you're holding this bridge with the turbo blimp. That's fine. This is now the main thrust of their attack. Counteroffensive, really, because we're the ones attacking. But you know, the best offense, as we've discussed, the best offense. Sorry, the best defense is good offense? I don't know. Offense is good sometimes, defense is good sometimes. You guys know what I mean. Let's get our heavy tanks to push up here, and we'll send these guys up the bottom here, up the south end. Snow speeders, you can work on that ATPT as well. Okay, so we were able to repel those without too much trouble. I will... Oh, that's interesting. They've got an ATS-2 trying to take out our artillery. We'll send the turbo blimp over here, and we'll send Luke over as well. I'll send the T-47s, the Rogue Squadron, up to the north to scout that out. And then these guys, I might send them up to the north as well. Yes, we're kind of dividing our forces, but I think it makes sense in this case, since we've got such a broad battlefront, really large battle space that we want to be able to deal with. Yep, turbo blimp, come on back. Quite intending for you to get in that much trouble that quickly. Luke is here, just going through infantry there. I wonder if I could actually send Luke back to attack their power generator, because that would be kind of nice. Send these medium tanks up. I really don't think they're going to be that much of an issue up here in the north. Yeah, they're not. We'll get Rogue Squadron to take them out. We'll get Luke to... Actually, I'm not really concerned with the support field emplacement. And I'm just going to have him run right by the infantry, who will technically heal him. Whoa! What was that? Did you guys see that? So that was the Chariot LAV hitting its auto-destruct feature, which causes lots of damage to all the units around it. Apparently that applied to air units as well, because our snow speeders, as part of Rogue Squadron, just got absolutely wrecked. That's terrible. Do you have the bombing run? I will queue it up there and see if we can make it past this turbo laser tower. Might shoot down the bombers. We will see. We will see. And then this turbo blimp, go ahead and move up here to the middle again, see if we can command the middle of this map. We did capture all these droids and this infantry here. We'll send these guys up to the middle as well, just kind of to support. And did we make it back to the repair pad? We will make it back to the repair pad with Rogue Squadron. And there we go. We got the enemy generators. So these turbo laser towers are not going to be a problem for us anymore. What unit was destroyed? That's my question there. Oh, they've got a captured turbo laser tower, so let's move our medium tanks back. Turbo blimp is here. I'm really not concerned with what they're doing, and you know what? With how annoying... I poo-pooed the victory point being this close to the base, but honestly, with how annoying all of their forces are being spread out along this rather large map, I'm thinking the victory point actually makes sense. Grabbing the victory point for the victory condition. And I will bring our turbo blimp over here to give Luke cover, but honestly, I can just capture this with Luke and do it probably quicker than I'd be able to clear out the rest of the base. Turbo blimp, take him out. Artillery, take them out. Yeah, this turbo blimp is here for the anti-vehicle support, taking out things like ATPTs and nice things like that. And yeah, we are going to take this victory point before too long, before too many problems. Another unit was destroyed. Interesting. I wonder what that was. Isn't that kind of funny? Like, oh, unit destroyed. Wonder what that was. Whatever. Can't be fussed. Rogue Squadron's fine, which is really the thing that I mainly care about here. Let's send them in to support against some of these enemies that are moving in from the north. Meanwhile, Luke, you can stay here trying to capture this victory point. We want it to turn orange. And then we will have secured the planet. And we are moving our heavy vehicles up here. Go ahead and take out the Moff Palace, that's fine. Really, at this point, it's kind of a race to see which way we win first. Are we going to win through the conventional military victory, or are we going to win by taking the victory point? We will have to see. Bombardment's available. Let's drop it on these guys here, coming out of their barracks. Might not quite get them. Yeah, looks like they'll be a little too far away. But at this point, honestly, not really much for us to be afraid of, which is good. Oh, except we did lose our artillery. I didn't even... it must have, like, driven up here into this cluster of enemy forces that we know is up here. Dang it, that's unfortunate. We're gonna have to rebuild that. I hate losing artillery. It's such a powerful weapon. If I'm gonna go into battle with any one weapon, like with any one platform or type of ground unit, it's going to be artillery. Like a Jedi, give me artillery, and I can win a lot of ground battles, because artillery is just so good. I love DPS at range. Unless I'm tripping. Achieved. Wow, it almost feels like we lost more than just the artillery. We got the turbo blimp, we got 2 units of heavy tanks, we got the free runners. We did bring in Rogue Squadron, who exists as part of Akbar still, I think. But yeah, no artillery on the map there. So let's go back over to Sullust and queue ourselves up another artillery unit.
Unit in production.
And while we're here, I think I'll get myself a unit of these
Unit in
Gallifrey
production.
heavy transport wings. They are useful to have. Big aircraft, basically, that transport your troops around. Let's build up a starbase here. Still trying to reconstitute our infrastructure that we lost
Beginning
largely as a
construction.
result of different raids and enemy attacks. And then, let's see, Tag Company. We could build for pretty cheap, 1350 credits. The only thing, though, that I think it gives us a discount on that is in the New Republic inventory, so all the units that you see there on the left-hand side of the screen, the JX-40 Jail Speeder, Strike Speeder, that's all corporate sector roster stuff. I think the only thing that would apply to us is the AA-5 speeder trucks. And honestly, I don't build those enough that I feel like it would be worth it to include them. So we'll just leave them be. We will not build the Tag Company on Druckenwell. I will, however, consider... Oh, there we go. We've got a nice Moncal cruiser for Akbar, and that's going to take his fleet up near full strength. Enemy fleet is about to invade Tynna. Okay, so remember we talked about how that's probably the result of some tipper we're getting that, a Hutt fleet just left Emberlene, perhaps, would be an example of something that a spy gave us off of Emberlene. So we get the notification here. They have probably not sent a fleet. They've probably sent a fleet that is only strong enough to defeat the defenses at Tynna, which in this case is not much. I'm going to go ahead and delete the construction there for that starbase at Tynna, but I'm going to take Nance's fleet, and we should be able to beat the incoming Hutt fleet to Tynna. Ooh, another thing I'm going to do with my money is I'm going to queue up. Still want Ukraine Tricata because I want to be able to build a lot of tanks. But I think I'm going to queue up a ion cannon because that'll help us defend Chardon in space even more. Now, if the Hutts are coming from Emberlene too, which they almost certainly are, I think that's the only direction that we could get an enemy attack from. I'm going to snag Akbar's fleet, and let's see if we can do it. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'm going to leave Akbar's fleet where it is, just so we can get this Moncal cruiser in. I am going to come over to Naboo, though, and queue up the mining facility and also the tax facility on the ground, so we should turn Naboo into a nice little credit-generating planet for us. We're over 10,000 for credit income, which is really nice to see. Oh, there's Emberlene. They've got, wow, tons of ground units. That is probably what they're stacking up because they think they're going to be coming in for a successful attack on Tynna.
Construction complete.
There we go. Okay, and what did they send? They sent a voracious carrier, which is 135. They sent two 135. Yeah, the total fleet 135 pop cap. They sent two voraciouses and two, what is this, a Vontor destroyer. So four pretty big and chunky ships. They are fighting us 135 pop versus 185 pop, so we outnumber them. We also have a command bonus, a pretty significant one from Nance. Granted, he is not getting his own bonus, but everybody else in the fleet will be getting that, what is that, like a command tier 9 bonus? Yeah, pretty good. One of the better ones available in our roster. So I think we can win this, and critically, as you know, I think we can win this without losses, because that's a big priority of mine. Major concern.
Inbound.
Okay, so what have we got here? I'm actually thinking,
Reporting for duty.
can we just stay where we are and actually no.
Moving to your
So they've got big,
orders.
clunky, slow ships. We also have some big, clunky, slow ships. The question is, could we perhaps get them to split their big, clunky, slow ships and come at us from different directions? And I think that's a question that's going to have to be answered by some of our really fast guys.
Forward.
So we'll get these guys up. We'll get
Cruiser
everybody
reporting.
else
Gunship
actually
reporting.
to
Batteries
pull
online.
back on this side of Nance, and then we'll be able to maneuver them
Navigating
forward if
coordinates.
appropriate and if we
Navigating.
need to.
Yes, sir.
We'll grab our Quasar and our interdictors, our carriers and our interdictors, because they're very light
Weapons
units.
ready.
We'll move them to the back of the formation here. And then if we wait for them to commit,
I copy.
which they are kind of doing with their fighters, so that's interesting. Let's Control A, grab all of our fighters and have them come in and start mixing up with their fighters.
Heading for
And then I'm going to send these MC-30s up even farther. And then let's grab all of our small guys, our point defense, our tenders,
Cruiser reporting.
and set them to control group 1, and I'll move them back here just with the general population of ships that we have here. It looks like I don't have any Nebulon B frigates in this fleet, but that's okay for now.
Standing by.
Really what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, I'm going to see if I can kite, and if I can get maybe one of their Vontours to chase these 2 ships. If I can break them up, that would be really cool. Let's get our point defense up here to defend Nance. They've sent a couple of bombers in after him.
Roger.
And then MC-30s,
Responding.
yeah, you guys can
Consider it done.
turn around and start to get away. Looks like we are potentially breaking up their formation a little bit. Maybe if this Vontour is turning to chase, that'll make me really happy, because that'll make this coming fight a lot easier. Fighters and bombers, I need you guys to get back here,
Keep your eyes open
back to
for
our
those
main
fighters.
formation. And yeah, that Vontour is chasing these 2 MC-30s, and it looks like the second Vontour is as well. That's awesome. That's their tankiness. That is all of their, well, not their tankiness, that is most of their damage. The Voraciouses are going to be putting out a lot of damage, but it's going to be in the form of fighters, which we are pretty well postured to counter. We have this point defense here that's going to be doing work. They're bombing Nance, who is one of our more resilient to bombing runs, just because he has a lot of shields. A lot of health his health is in the form of shields. We should be able to defeat these guys more or less in detail. Again, a lot of these bombs are coming in, but I'm less concerned. We'll get all of our fighters and bombers, give them the order to go for the lead Voracious, and then we'll get our A-Wings back here, and maybe a couple of squadrons of X-Wings
Linked and ready.
to do some work on these bombers specifically.
Closing on enemy.
And we'll give these A-Wings targets, different targets for different bomber squadrons.
Reporting in.
There's a bomber coming in. Bombers coming in after the Liberator. Don't love that. I think this is a good time though to get our capital ships in there, start mixing it up, and we'll order Nance to come in and start working on this lead Voracious. Okay, this is working well.
Weapons charged.
Meanwhile, MC-30s keep leading this Vontour on a merry chase.
They're on my tail.
Okay, we've got the shields down on the lead Voracious. Let's target the fighter bays and see if we can take down its fighter bays. Meanwhile, all the fighters and bombers that we have in this area, let's have them start working on this second Voracious, which is merging and kind of clipping through. Not ideal. Meanwhile, you guys, I actually want you to pull back,
One on your tail.
and we're gonna let Nance go up front here, especially as this Vontour is coming in.
Awaiting orders.
Yeah, you guys just get out of there. If you have to clip through the debris field, that's fine.
Got one on me.
MC-30s, come on back home.
Location. Ready for your next
A little bit complicated with our maneuver here, but I think it's worth it. We've divided their forces. They are going to be coming at us with 3/4 of their fleet, admittedly. Still, it's not nothing. We've got Nance up front though. He's good to tank. Let's switch his fire actually over to the
I copy.
Vontour. You can start taking down the shields there, and then we'll get our smaller ships in this fleet over to start working on this Voracious. Nance, I could go power to shields on you, but really I don't feel like I need to.
Weapons on.
Grab our A-Wings and have them come intercept some of these individual bomber squadrons again.
Ready for your next
Ready for orders.
Our
Acknowledged.
point defense and our tenders over by Nance just to help him out just a little bit. We'll tell this assault frigate, since it's not being targeted, to go power to weapons and target the fighter bay here. This Liberator will tell to go power up to weapons and have it start working on, frankly, this Vontour, I think.
Our target
Work on the heavy turbo laser batteries.
reporting for duty.
Got an A-Wing mixing it up with some fighter units back there.
Calamari
That's
frigate.
fine.
I've been hit.
Awaiting orders.
And then we've basically got these guys cleaned up. I'm going to turn Nance and have him start focusing, if he can. Going to move this assault frigate away. Going to have Nance turn and start focusing on this last Vontour coming in here. And remember, they're not able to escape. They cannot get away from this fight. So this is going to be 135 Hutt units that are lost to them forever, which is awesome. Their point defense more postured in front of the Vontours. They do have a lot of these assault concussion missiles, which do a fair amount of damage, so we can intercept those with our point defense here.
Ready for battle.
Meanwhile, this Victory is doing phenomenal work. Let's have him come over and start working on the Vontour as well.
Reporting.
Assault frigate Mark IIIs, which I have 3 of them in this fleet, which is really nice. You guys can move over and start on the Vontour as well. And then we'll grab all of our fighters and bombers
Reporting in. Yes, sir. Ready for duty.
and take them out.
Roger
It's
that.
kind of nice to see our brand new Victory Star Destroyer. Oh yeah, look at that, just lighting up this Vontour. We are victorious. Fantastic. Yeah, our brand new Victory acquitted itself well. I think the Protector is its name. And we have successfully defended against a marauding Hutt fleet. I'm going to leave Nance over Tynna and re-queue up that basic defensive station. And then as soon as this Mon Cal cruiser gets to Akbar's fleet, now a fleet of 282, so almost completely built out. Let's send Akbar in
Artillery online.
to punish the Hutts for their hubris, for their arrogance, for their tyranny, I guess. That's a nicer word than what I was saying to punish them for. Bad guys say, I will punish you for your hubris. And we are trying not to be bad guys as the New Republic. Our rule is benevolent. We hope. Okay, so this is interesting. We've got this Hutt fleet of mostly small ships and a voracious carrier. I have a boarding shuttle. They have just a very basic space station with, I don't think, a shipyard. I may be able to snag a voracious from them. That would be awesome. If I could get a big old Hutt carrier, that would be sweet. Might spawn with Hutt starfighters, which would be, a little less than optimal. Kind of mess up the starfighter composition of our fleets. But, oh man, that would be really cool. So I'm going to bring Akbar in here, again, to kind of take the brunt, since he's a big tanky ship. And then we'll bring in our first MC-80B that we've seen in combat, and Farlander up here. And then these couple of MC-80s. And I'm actually going to leave that right there as the ships we're bringing in. We're going to focus on these smaller ships first. We're going to take them down right away and leave the voracious for last.
We're ready, Admiral.
Yeah, you guys take you down. This MC-80, so this is going to be weaker than a Star Destroyer. It's only 26 pop cap, has 8 heavy turbo lasers, 4 heavy ion cannons, lots of heavy weapons on there, carries some starfighters as well. Useful ship to have. Ooh, let's get everybody, all these ships to go for this small ship here. And then with this Voracious's health starting to go down, I'm going to bring in our boarding shuttle right here. There are no enemy ships nearby, really, that can shoot at the boarding shuttle, except for the Voracious itself. And then I'm going to go double tenders and another Nebulon B. And a CR-90. No, you don't. No, you don't. I have my reinforcement window open, so I can bring in an interdictor still. No, you don't.
Under control.
Nuh-uh. And we stop. And then with this Voracious, I'm going to wait for its health to get a little bit lower. We will only have one shot at this. The lower the health is of a ship that you're trying to board, the better your chances of actually boarding it successfully. So I'm going to wait until right about now. And let's see if we can snag this Voracious. Please, please, please. We were not successful and we lost some ship crews because of it. Okay, so not a successful boarding action. Unfortunate, but so it goes. At least we didn't lose our boarding shuttle, and we are, yeah, it's safe. It's parked right here in the middle. Tenders that are giving it healing if it does come under fire, so that's fine. That's acceptable. It was worth a shot. I'll keep trying like that, especially in cases where it's pretty safe in battles like this one. Yeah, we can go ahead and fast forward because we're going to be very safe in eliminating this last little Hutt space station. And very soon we are victorious. Fantastic. Yeah, again, a free fleet carrier would have been really nice to have. Put it in Nance's fleet or something, or Sov's fleet, since it's going to be relatively tanky. But as it is, let's take a look at what they have on the ground here. They have some infantry, a lot of vehicles. Anti-air skiff companies are going to be effective against rogue squadrons, so that's good to know that they're there. This is why it's nice to spy out the planets before you take them, if you ever have the option. They're going to have some skiffs, so some aerial units, a big sail barge, a couple of lighter skiff companies, and then transport wings, so with anti-infantry cannons. So this is also not the safest fight for Luke to be going in against these guys, but I think he'll be okay. I mean, yeah, I'm almost certain that he'll be okay, especially if we're just even moderately careful with him. Okay, the month has rolled over. Let's double check our missions, make sure I'm not missing anything. We still have that convoy raid over Centares. That's right. I was going to come up here, and I did queue up a spy in between episodes, so let's send this spy over to Centares, see how it's doing. And then this is a good opportunity, I think, to build up Regab's fleet just a little bit more. Come in here, and he does not have any MC-80 Liberties, which are nice ships to have. So I'm going to focus on building him Mon Cal ships. Let's give him a Liberty. and that'll help strengthen him a little bit more. And then let's get him, I think, just a couple more point defense ships. Let's get him another... Honestly, I like the Nebulon Bs, and then another tender. Nebulon B, probably one of my favorite Star Wars ships ever. I just really like them. Really like how they look, really like how they work. Okay, coming over here, we've got some construction completing. We are now taxing Chardon, which is nice. Tynna has a space station, so that's cool. We could tax Tynna, and I think we might as well. We're going to be defending in space, so that's going to be fine for now. And we've got a barracks on the ground as well. And then Druckenwell, let's queue up a tax agency on you. And then Naboo is still building our income stations. Anywhere else we want to plop down any basic defensive structures, like some Golan stations or something. Going on Bijak. Want to get our infrastructure up as far as we can reasonably do. And then let's grab these transport wings. We're not going to wait for these troop transporters to get up to Emberlene to start this Emberlene invasion. I think I'll just go now with Luke. Again, Luke hitting the ground first. Decently chunky defensive army on the ground here, but they only have the planetary capital as a defensive structure, so it shouldn't be too terribly difficult for us to win this fight. Also, we have some capturable infantry. So, actually, no, that's probably not Luke's #1 priority. Should I just sprint him down and try to capture this command post, or should I sprint him over here and get these couple of lower yield ones, but they also have this capturable turbo laser? I will probably go right. Let's do that. Let's bring in some infantry and some skiffs, and the job of these guys is basically just going to be to protect this flank here from any attacks that are coming up from this direction. Luke is going to be leading our main offensive force, which again is going to consist mostly of heavy tanks and things like that. So we've secured a command post. Let's get another one in here. Let's bring in some AACs to help out. Let's bring in Rogue Squadron, even though they do have some anti-air capability. And look at that, we're already dealing with some little skiffs, so that's nice to see. These guys come over and you can grab some infantry capturables, taking out their skiffs there again. Okay, we got some vehicles. This is going to be where our heavy vehicles drop, I think. If we can get them in time. There we go. Let's bring in our units of heavy tanks. And then we'll send in, I think, the artillery back here. You guys will go this direction. In fact, I might send the AACs over to help defend in this space. And I'm getting some weird effect here. Did we get anybody spawn? Huh, there's kind of an interesting bug there. Pretty sure we should have gotten some infantry out of capturing that, but that's okay. Don't super need it. And we'll just send Luke with our heavy vehicles up to, I guess, capture the next thing that we can get.
Ready.
Get artillery and probably move the artillery up in this direction. And then we have Rogue Squadron chilling back here in their snow speeders. Let's grab them, assign them to Hotkey 1, and there's this weird air unit, yeah, this Armored Sentinel transport, that is kind of messing with our AACs. So Rogue Squadron, come on in. Should be able to mess those guys up pretty easy. And then heavy vehicles plus Luke. Yeah, again, some bugginess happening with the capturable infantry structures, these mercenary outfitters. That is very strange, and I don't like that. I don't like to see bugs in Empire at War, but, you know, it is a mod, and bugs happen in mods, so that's fine. I'm not mad, just like, yeah, a little concerning. Guardian Corps droids, so they got one of the capturables. Probably something like we should have gotten out of this capturable, but again, it's fine. Not a super huge need for us. What might be a super huge need for us, they do have some stuff happening here. They're just sending infantry through to try to get through this path here. I'm actually going to leave the infantry and the free runners here, and let's send our AACs up to try to deal with these vehicles that are encroaching here. And we'll cover, take cover, and okay, this is a lot of Hutt units actually. Fascinating. Luke, as always, focus on the infantry, and we'll have the tanks focus on the vehicles. In fact, might have the tanks just hook down here to the south and try to take out the Capitol building. There aren't any vehicles here that I think pose a threat to Luke, so he should be able to deal with the infantry just fine.
Yes, sir.
Have the artillery work on this infantry here, and then These guys are all fine. In fact, do I need it? I don't need an anti-infantry turret. No need. What I could do is bring in another unit. So I'll bring in our turbo blimp and probably send it just straight over this path here and have it mix it up with these units. And then I'm just gonna bomb. Honestly, I'll drop bombs here on this turret. And they might. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, it looks like they're probably not going to get some of these other units that Luke is contending with. But we can re-vector these tanks, and they will be able to.
Yes, sir.
So that's cool. Yeah, bombs took out the infantry turret, which honestly was a threat in and of itself to Luke. So might as well. Oop. And they've got their skiffs here working on our artillery. Artillery, run away.
Yes, Commander.
Or not their skiffs, their speeder bikes or whatever. We'll try to get our artillery run away. Hopefully I won't kill yet another unit of artillery.
As you wish.
And there we go, they are retreating. So, awesome. Not too bad of a battle. Not too complicated. Killed a lot of Hutt units on the ground. And took Emberlene, which is a pretty important planet for us. We should be able to defend here pretty well if we get a pretty chunky set of ground buildings going, and then leave Akbar here for now. So let's go ahead and build that up. And basically just wait for the month to roll over. I am kind of in the spot where feeling pretty good about where we are, but not feeling quite so good about, ooh, I could move up to Kashyyyk and take that. No, that would definitely be overextending us. Don't want to do that if I don't have to. Not feeling so good about the fact that we are still on Cruel AI, and Cruel AI scares me. Probably we had those initial attacks on Tynna and Chardon a couple of episodes ago now, but those were just the initial attacks from the AI getting its very first, like, hey, I'm strong now. I need to go turbo aggro on the player. What the AI will be doing right now, and I can't see it because I don't have a ton of spies out, should probably start remedying that, rectifying that. What the AI is sure to be doing right now is building up their strength, and then they're going to just emerge out of nowhere with a bunch of many hundred population fleets on all of our frontline planets, and it's probably all going to happen at the same time. Just guessing, just calling it now, they are not going to be kind to us. Looking at Cothless as a potential option for... Oh wow, lots of territory changing hands here. Corporate sector, Pennistar, Obro Sky being conquered, and yeah, the Pennistar alignment pushing into the unknown regions, which is great. If the Pennistar alignment wants to fight the Empire of the Hand in the unknown regions, so they don't the Empire of the Hand doesn't wrap around and try to take out Endor, that will make me perfectly happy. We have another almost 13,000 credits, which is great. I'm thinking this is a great chance. I could build this up even more infrastructure-wise and economically, but I'm thinking this is a great chance before things get too much more sporty to queue up a nice big Home 1 cruiser down here on Sullust, and we will probably send this one to join Sov's fleet, and that'll just about make Sov have a complete fleet, which will be awesome. Meanwhile, Emberlene still building up. Cothless, I think, would be a great candidate for double taxing, so let's go ahead and queue that up right now. And then Druckenwell is only single taxed. Yeah, that's fine. We can leave that right now. Vondark has a basic Golan. Yagdul is not taxed, so we can do that. And then let's get it a basic Golan station here.
Construction complete.
And then coming and taking a look at this Hunt convoy mission that we have here. This would technically be doable, and actually, you know what? They have Teradoc here. Oh gosh, so this is the Maldrude leader. If we assassinate him, that'll go a long way in, again, punishing a warlord, a war criminal, this guy who's worked for the Empire for a while, and also will get the Maldrude one step closer to integration. I don't think they will integrate, they have too many plants for that, but if we can kill their leader, that would be cool. And we have a fleet that can technically do it, Regab's fleet up here. So I'm going to grab this this Corellian Corvette, and I'm going to move Regab's fleet towards Centares. I'm a little more bold in doing this because Liana is neutrally owned. If this was enemy owned, I would be really hesitant to move this defensive fleet away from Mon Calamari when it has such a long ways to go, and it would take so long to react getting back from Centares to Mon Calamari. But as it is right now, I'm feeling better about this. So we'll go ahead, and hopefully they don't jump anything in at the last minute. Nope, 74. In fact, they may have jumped something away. I can't remember what the exact number was. 74 versus 150. We don't have an interdictor in this fleet, but I don't know. I don't know if they're going to jump away either, because they do have a level 2 shipyard and fully built up stations. So they probably won't retreat, if I had to guess.
They're over here.
So I'll play this casually, not casually, I'll play this conservatively, risk-aversely. Our main target is this Altor transport ship, which does not have, and this is critical, this does not have the tending ability and the tending focus that the other Altor we fought in the last episode does. This one is just a big freighter that we are supposed to eliminate as part of this mission. So they are getting some pretty decent reinforcements, and they are also going to have a far better command bonus than we will have. Oof. I'm actually I'm not liking the look of all of those fighters.
Armed and ready.
That is kind of alarming. I wonder, though, if we could maybe send our Corvette up and have it disrupt them, and maybe we can provoke a reaction. Yes, we can. That Altor's coming our direction. That's awesome. Okay, CR-90, bravely run away. Back to this far corner of the map, please. And then, as they are stringing out, as these enemy forces are stringing out here, especially as the CR-90 hopefully leads some of these fighters on a merry chase. If we lose the CR-90, we lose the CR-90. We'll just have to deal with it. Oh, cool. The rest of their fleet isn't even chasing. So we can jump in and kill this Altor, and then we can leave if we want to. That might be what we do, because with this fleet and these defenses, and especially these command bonuses, yeah, this command tier 10 is going to be buffing Teradoc, so really that's going to be a pretty difficult fight for us. I'm thinking, let's just jump in and kill this Altor, and then leave.
Order confirmed.
So we'll jump for Gab in, bring in his MC-80, all his little Moncal ships, this nice Recusant, which is cool. It's a really cool Clone Wars era ship. See if we can get a good view of it. I am not very good at manipulating the camera in Empire at War. I know there are options to like have a free camera thing going on, but like I say, I'm not very good at it. There we go. There's their Recusant. And it's actually getting clipped by this MC-40. That's okay. We're basically on autopilot here. This is going to be an easy enough fight. I am going to turn on power to shields on this unit here and bring in some point defense. Yeah, power to shields on the MC-80 I think is going to be the right choice. They are sending the big scary Admiral in, so I don't like seeing that. There we go, working on that Altor. If we can kill this before the Star Destroyer gets in, I'll be really happy. So let's make sure that everybody has very deliberate targeting. We don't have very many fighters spawned in. Do we not have any fighters spawned in?
Star Destroyer reporting in.
Because that is, quite frankly, alarming. Why would I not have any fighters spawned in? Let's get this MC-30 away and within range of the tending, hopefully. This MC-80, go power to shields. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm having regrets, actually. Wow, we weren't able to... That Altor is so tanky. They were able to get all three of their Star Destroyers up here. Let's retreat. Let's get out of here. And we're going to lose this MC-80. Yeah, I don't think this is worth it. If we don't retreat now, we're going to lose even more. This MC-80, which we just barely built. I want to save this Admiral, and I'm really concerned that we don't have any fighters spawning. That is very strange. MC-80 Liberty. Lost. I wonder if that could be related to the spawning issue we were having with those ground units. And like I say, that's a little concerning. Well, I might save and do a little bit of testing, see if I need to roll back the save or something like that. If so, if I do need to do that, I will rebuild to the best of my ability. But yeah, the fighters spawning, we need those, especially as the New Republic. We definitely need those because that's a lot of our fleet power. So join me next time, and we will see if we can get that issue resolved. I'm happy with the progress we made so far, taking Druckenwell, taking Emberlene. Lost an MC-80 up here by Centares, but thankfully avoided losing anything else. And we'll have to rebuild this fleet and perhaps try again on this convoy raid. So hope everyone had a good time. See you next time.